Tell me about your shot and deer.
Well, I had kind of a late night and was a little tired getting in the stand. I had a ground blinds over here. I was laying in the ground blind taking a nap, and I kind of woke up and I looked off to the right of me and I seen him standing a good wide 8. He was looking at me, and I pulled my bow around that I had on my kickstand, and I drew back on him, and we're playing eyeball to eyeball. And when I let go of the release, it caught a little bit of the limb that was in front of me, and I tried to shoot him right behind that shoulder in that low bottom end. And when I drilled him, I think I drilled him about the 4th rib back, and it sounded like a barrel when I hit him, you know, just hollow ball. And he left like a bullet. I mean, out of a gun. I mean, he just shot out of there. He come this way. I kind of rushed it because I knew I made a bad shot when I hit that limb. So I ran over. I probably didn't get 15 minutes when I got over there.
Right.
And I was looking. I didn't see any blood. I seen some hair on the ground, brownish hair, and that's about all I seen as far as sign. I walked and looked, and I just couldn't find any other sign.
How much walking around did you do?
If I'm gonna be honest with you, I really couldn't tell you distance, but I covered some ground.
Okay. So you more or less kind of grid searched it yourself, just back and
Well,
forth looking
me
for
and
blood.
a buddy of mine came over here.
Just
and
one guy, or more than one guy?
Two buddies.
Two buddies?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So
None of their friends came?
Mm-mm.
It was just the 3 of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And what did the hair look like?
It was kind of a light brown.
Not how long? Short? Coarse? Fine?
It was kind of coarse.
Okay.
A bit. Yeah.
All right. Long or short?
I don't know. It was hair to me. You know?
Okay. All right. No blood at all?
No blood.
Okay. All right. Were you shooting expandables or fixed blade head?
Fixed blade, yes, sir.
Okay. What time was this that you shot the deer?
I shot him about probably around 6:30.
Okay. That was yesterday evening?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So it's been about 15 hours or so, 14 hours, 13, 14 hours since the shot. All right. You think about the 4th rib back, how, as far as up and down, where were you at?
You know, I was trying to pin him about right here on the body, and I think I might have drilled him about more upper, kind of about right in there.
Okay, so onto the back straps, a little high and back.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so close to the liver, in front of the liver there. All righty. And this is your property here?
Actually, you know, you got state land right here, and a farmer that I paid to let me hunt this right here on the property.
Okay, so where you shot the deer, we're okay to start tracking on?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, she'll see what she can find. I'll ask that you, during the track, you stay behind me.
Okay.
Try not to ever get in front of the dog. If she starts to make a circle or something, or I stop, you stop. If you see blood, because the dog's not trained for blood, so they're trained on the interdigital gland, the pheromone that comes from the interdigital gland, and so blood really doesn't mean anything to the dog. It's just more of an observation for myself or for you to know that, hey, maybe the deer did go this way.
All right.
So throughout the course of the track, you'll hear me giving the dog different commands. Don't talk to the dog. When we do find the deer, don't approach the deer until after I've let the dog sniff the deer and given her treat for finding the deer if we locate the deer. Because she gets possessive over the deer once she finds it, because that's what she's out here to do, is to find that deer, and once she finds it, she thinks that's her deer. So
yes, sir.
Once I'll give you the go ahead to move in and check the deer out if we locate it.
Okay.
I think we're good on time. I like to wait, 16 to 24 hours on this, on a shot that's back, especially one that's high. Kind of a 50-50 deal on that being a mortal wound or not.
What would you think?
It's dogs like having a screwdriver in a toolbox. She's a tool. She's not. The dogs are not 100%. Anybody that tells you that they are is lying to you, because they're not. but she'll give it. She's gonna give you 110%, and we'll do everything we can do to try to locate the deer for you. Any property lines or like that is concern, like within this general vicinity here that we don't have permission on?
Now there's some property back there that goes to another farmer. I'm
Right.
not too sure about who owns it.
Okay.
But I can get in touch with somebody
Okay.
on that.
All
I'll
right.
work
All
on
right.
it.
Hopefully we don't make it that far, but if we do, then we can't cross into an adjacent property, a property that we don't have verbal permission from the landowner or from the leasing tenant. The leasing tenant has rights over the landowner. If they're leasing land here in the state of Iowa, you have to get permission from whoever is holding the lease, not from the landowner themselves.
Okay.
So we'd have to get in touch with that person before we can proceed on the track.
Hopefully we don't get to that point.
Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully it'll be okay. Throughout the track, I don't allow anyone to take any weapons except for myself. No bows, no guns, no firearms. You don't have any firearms or anything like that on you?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. If the deer needs to be dispatched, then we'll hold the location. I'll send you back to the truck to get whatever, or we'll watch the deer. This dog's not a bay dog, so we won't bay the deer up or anything like that. We'll just, if we see the deer still alive, I'll mark the location on GPS and slip back out and get your bow and then come back in and try to put a
Hopefully,
finishing shot on.
he's laying there for
Hopefully
me.
not, but yeah, hopefully the deer's has already expired. The only problem is that you walked around. There's a good chance deer like that, if they're not disturbed, sometimes they'll lay down 150 to 200 yards. They'll lay down and sometimes expire if they're not disturbed, whether by humans or by coyotes or whatever. A lot of times the coyotes get a deer up and push it. But if you walk around and truck is done. Drop dramatically, but it's going to take a little time for the dog to work where y'all have walked through. How far out did y'all walk, like from the hits or where you shot the deer, in a radius around, say in a circle around where you shot the deer? How far out did y'all go, north, south, east, and west, do you think?
We might have covered a 5-acre block.
Okay, all right.
Worst case.
So then 300-400 yards out in all directions.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Because I mean, like I said, that's the biggest buck I ever shot. So
Right.
I'm in panic mode right now.
Right. Okay. And what time did y'all quit tracking? How long has it been since y'all been out of the woods?
I stayed in there till probably about 9 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Okay, so
I
about
had to
3
wait
hours.
about an hour for a buddy to get over here with me,
Okay.
and then the other guy was shortly behind that.
Okay. So
probably
you've been
about-
out of the woods around 11 hours or so, like that. All right, one thing I'll tell you up front is that if you've gone out any further, if you've searched around any further, the dogs can tell me that. So, if you've gone out further than 5 acres in a 5-acre circle, let me know now, because, it's going to increase the amount of time that the dog has to try to work through y'all's scent, because inadvertently, all of you has probably stepped where that deer has stepped and picked up that declining health pheromone on your shoes, therefore transferring it around on the ground.
Yes, sir.
In the search area. So the dog has to figure out what is actually where the deer stepped versus where y'all stepped, where you picked that scent up on your boots and transferred it around on the ground. It may take us a little longer to work through this track and figure out exactly what was the deer versus what was y'all. But that's her job, and that's what she's good at doing. So
it's in the moment type thing, and trying to replay your actions. It's hard to say, but I wouldn't say more than a 5-acre
okay, all right,
span of it.
okay, all right. And so you were over here on this side of this road here.
Yes, sir. I was
Okay.
on that side. That's just a few feet in there, and the deer came out on this side. It was hard because I don't have windows on the back, so
Right.
if I was speculate, I'd say somewhere from that curve to the big tree. If he bolted across out of
Okay.
there.
All right. Well, that sounds good. We'll get this thing started and see what she can do. Hopefully, there's a big dead buck at the end of this track, and
Yeah, I sure hope so. It looked good on my wall.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, putting bucks in trucks, what her job is. So we'll let her do her thing, see how it goes.
All right, I'll let you
thanks
do
for
your
calling
thing.
us. All right,
I
thank you.
appreciate you.
Right. Come here, girl. Hey, sir, so your deer crossed this water right here. It came out on this side and is working its way up the side of this ridge. But I see a property line sign there. I don't know if maybe there's an old fence or something there, but is that the property you were telling me about earlier that you have to call somebody, or do we have permission to go across there?
Yes, sir. That's going to be the property line there. Let me call him real quick.
Okay.
And see if I can get a hold of somebody.
Right. I'm gonna give her a break, give her some water, give her time to cool down. She's been working her nose pretty hard.
Yes, sir.
So that hey, so I told you back there that in regards to possibly bumping that deer, there not being any wound beds, yada yada yada, from there up to that 200 something yard mark. Anyway, doesn't mean that the deer was not in there when y'all went in there to grid search.
Yes,
He
sir.
may just not have been sick enough to lay down. He could have just been walking slow.
Okay.
But just because there's not a wound bed doesn't mean that you're not pushing the deer ahead of you if you go and look too early.
Yes, sir.
So, all right, yeah, if you'll try to get in touch with that guy, and we'll see what we can do from here. But we can't go into that property without permission from the leasing tenant or the landowner. Well,
Okay.
the landowner, if there's not a leasing tenant.
All right. Let me see if I can get a hold of you. I gotta go. You got time? Good. All right, roll. Mr. Hall. No, sir. No, sir. I'd like to tell you I found him. I haven't found him yet, but we run into a predicament. We hit this property line over here. Is there a way you can get a hold of the owner and see if we can advance over that way?
Hey, sir.
Yes, sir.
You're gonna have to, in the state of Iowa, you're gonna have to talk to that tenant. So if he can get you the number or the tenant or the owner here, you're gonna need to talk to them. It kind of really needs to be an earshot of me hearing you asking for permission versus just taking, word for it.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Hall, when you get, he was telling me, you get a hold of the owner. I've got to talk to him, and the tracker's going to have to hear him give me permission. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. All right. Thank you. Hello? Yes, sir. Mr. Hall got a hold of you and told you? Yes, sir. We pretty much believe that my deer run across your land. Yes, sir. And I've got a tracker here, and I need your permission, but the tractor needs to hear you say that. I'm going to put you on speakerphone when you give me permission, okay? Hold on. Get you here going.
Hey, sir, if you will, let him know that the dog will be on a leash the entire time and in my control. In no time will the dog be running loose, trying to chase squirrels or anything like that. I'll have control of the dog at all times. If for some reason the leash happens to break away from the dog, I do have a GPS collar with a toner on it that I can recall the dog back to me. So I just don't want him to be concerned if he has cows or anything that the dog's going to be in there trying to chase anything that it's not supposed to be after.
Did you catch all that, sir? Okay. Can you give me the permission? He can hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. We're good to go on permission.
All right.